Welcome to another edition of Mulligan Speakers International MSI Showcase. I'm Diane Mulligan, President of Mulligan Speakers International. Every couple of weeks, we talk to our speakers about topics we think will be interesting to you, the meeting planner. It's also a great way for you to get to know our speakers, their passions, their interests, and their excellent abilities to integrate their information into topics that are going to be really important to your audiences. And today, we had the pleasure of talking with Wendy Booker. Hi, Wendy. How are you?
Hello there from Boston.
Oh, it's great to talk to you this morning. We're both digging out of snowdrifts, I think, which is a great thing. And thank you for taking the time. Tell me a little bit more about you and what you love to do.
Oh, I have a wonderful life actually. I probably have the coolest job in the world. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1998, which of course doesn't sound that great, but as a result of the MS, I decided to take it on as a challenge and am a mountain climber and explorer. And I have run marathons and spend a lot of time at the gym. I can't say I love that as much as the actual event, but I've gotten to go around the world as a result of having MS, and it has created a lot of interesting things for me.
You're so inspiring that you took this diagnosis and you've literally moved mountains with it. It's just amazing. So congratulations to you. And I want to talk to you today about teamwork because you have climbed Everest. You just got back from the North Pole. You're going to the South Pole, and teams are so very, very important to you. And really, in corporate culture and in associations, teams are also really, really important. Tell me what teamwork means to you and why it's so important.
Well, it's really very interesting because actually, to make an expedition successful, you need a team, and it's the strength of the team and the members of the team that will reach the goal. Sometimes you have to change that goal, sometimes you have to change how you achieve the goal, but that is as a result of good, strong teamwork, which of course will start with a leader. Um, in my case, it's a climbing guide or someone who has been to the North Pole as an expedition leader. And then from there become the value of the teammates and what does each person bring to that party. Their strengths is what we play on. And also each person on a team on an expedition and in the boardroom, in the workplace knows that strength and knows that's where they should play from. Same thing on a mountain. Because of the extreme temperatures, because of the extreme altitude, there's not a lot of time to stand around and fool around and with your hands in your pockets. So as soon as you hit camp or hit the trail, you know what your assigned job is, you know where you're the most effective, and from there you start planning on that goal and planning on making things successful for everybody.
I think that's so important. And, when you're putting together a meeting, I would think you have all those plates spinning. You're trying to keep them up in the air and keep things going, but you have that goal. It's kind of the same for you when you're on that mountain. You have to do the same thing. And because the challenges that hit you are so different and you're going to meet a lot of things that you weren't expecting, that team's really important. When you're looking for team members, what do you look for?
Good communication. Boy, and on a mountain, that's key too. How are you feeling? How's the oxygen treating you? How are you health-wise? Health changes and then can absolutely sabotage an event. Same thing in the boardroom. Communicate. You can't not play to your strong card. You have to advocate for yourself and say, this is something I feel comfortable doing. Same thing on a mountain. That's not the time to say, hey, I'm going to try something new here. This is life and death. So you want to really play to that strength and communicate to that strength. Um, have everybody aligned behind the objectives. What is the objective? Is it to reach the summit of Everest? Is it to move to Camp One? Is it to have a successful sales team out there? Again, you want to line up on that and make sure that everybody's on that same page. Same thing again when you're tied to each other on that side of a slope. How about mutual respect? I'm not always the strongest member, or I may have a day that's not a good day, or I may have a really great day. You want to respect the person and say, we are human. We do make mistakes, but tomorrow will be a better day, or maybe you need to change how you're going to get to that goal based on that strength, but you respect the person. You don't say, your word is not valuable. So that's really the three that come to my mind right away.
I think that's very important, and especially that respect one, because I think that's the one we tend to lose. We tend to just say, this is the leader, and we're going to really focus on that person instead of really developing that mutual respect. So when you're talking about teamwork to audiences and you're up there doing that keynote, what are they really going to walk away with? What's your goal for them to walk away with from your speech?
Well, my goal personally is threefold. I always say that I'm defined by my three S's, which is self-discovery, serendipity, and stubbornness. And I think we all have that. And I love to play to that because that's where we get our strength and our forward momentum. I love to talk about challenges, the challenge of the workplace, sales in a bad economy, getting down and out when you make tons of sales calls and you're only getting turned down. How can you, the proverbial, make the lemonade out of the lemons? And I equate it to what it is to climb a mountain like Everest. And I say, the mountain is the challenge. How are you going to approach that challenge? And so it's a wonderful metaphor for what we all face every day in the business world, in life, with multiple sclerosis. Anything can be that mountain. So I love to take the two and run them together and say, and mountain is the physical mountain is not as exclusive as to what life is like and how do we reach those challenges and get that goal. So and then I look at how I really climbed and I said, wow, isn't that neat how close it affiliates and aligns with life and business world. So I get to throw in some cool stories too, just because of the mountain being in there and being able to say, oh, let me tell you what it really is like at 22,000 feet and can play into that as well, which makes it more entertaining, I think.
Excellent. And I've been in the audience and I know the impact that you have on those audiences, and it's just fantastic. And I think you're a perfect example of how you take what you've really learned and really integrate it into the goals for that meeting and really talk to that specific audience. You're great at doing that. So thank you so much today for taking the time. I really
Hey, thank you for having me. And I'd love to get the message out there. There's a lot to be said and a lot we can all learn. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching us today. I'm Diane Mulligan with Mulligan Speakers International. This was MSI Chat. I hope to talk to you again in a couple weeks. Have a wonderful day.